Offer sheets? Who needs offer sheets? Auston Matthews has signed a 5-year contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs at $11.63 million per year. You remember that whole Nylander drama? Let's get it out of the way bright and early with Matthews. Beginning of February, let's just sign it right here, boys. Here we go, we're going all the way. So it took a while, but Nylander's been signed, Matthews is now signed, we're just waiting on Marner to complete the trio. But yeah, Auston Matthews has signed a 5-year contract for $11.63 million a year, which puts him just a little under $1 million less than Connor McDavid's contract, which is the top in the NHL, which makes Matthews the second highest cap hit in the NHL. But I mean, the guy's also probably one of the most consistent scorers in the NHL right now, so you can't say he doesn't deserve it. So what are the positives and negatives of this contract for the Leafs? First off, why only 5 years? Well, for Matthews, 5 years makes a lot of sense because it gives him a bit of long-term security right now in the moment, as he's got a big contract signed for the next 5 years. But looking forward in the future, why would he sign an 8-year deal when in the later 2 years of those deals, he'll be in his prime and making, I'm assuming that in 5 years, players of Matthews' caliber are going to be making $15, possibly even $16 million, especially with how salaries have increased in the past couple of years. So it seems like Matthews is putting a little bit of uncertainty on his earnings in his NHL career right now for like a bit in the future, because he probably feels like in 5 years he can make a lot more money for what would be the last 3 years or last 2 years of a 7 or 8 year deal. Because his contract's only 5 years as well, it means that it ends in the same year that Nylander's contract ends, which means that in 5 years we're going to be having another major cap freak out with Nylander and Matthews and possibly Marner, depending on how that goes, all having to re-sign in very short succession of each other. But the big question, in terms of next year's cap, what does this mean? So according to Cap Friendly, right now the Leafs have a cap hit of almost $72 million for next year. The current salary cap is $79.5 million, so that gives them about almost $8 million in cap space. But the cap obviously goes up. So assuming the cap goes up to $82 million only, that's a bit of a low estimate. If the cap only goes up $2.5 million in a year, that's a bit low. If the cap goes up to $82 million, it gives Leafs $10 million of cap space, plus what they have not done this year, because they have a lot of young players who have cheaper contracts, is Nathan Horton has not been placed on LTIR. So next year they can place Nathan Horton on LTIR and get another $5.3 million in cap space. This puts us up to just over $15 million in cap space next. And that gives us, assuming Marner signs for 9, gives us $6 million to sign Johnsson and Kapanen, which should be more than enough. So that's plenty of room to sign Marner, Johnsson, and Kapanen. But what about Gardner? Now, when we got Muzzin, even I said that this means Gardner's probably gone. But with the potential of a little bit of trickery from Kyle Dubas, maybe not. Because if the cap goes up by a bit more than $3 million, let's say it goes up to $84 million, which would be right on par for about like how much the cap raises each year, that gives us an extra $2 million of cap space in addition to what I've already said. Now take that, trade a Nikita Zaitsev and maybe a Connor Brown, and oh my gosh, now you have another $8 million. Gardner come back, and the Leafs basically go into next season with the exact same team that they have right now, barring some minor changes, potentially a Hainsey retiring or not getting re-signed, and a Calle Rosen coming up, and that seems pretty good. I'd be very happy with that. So essentially it's looking like the big cap crunch that everyone's fearing will be nowhere near as bad as everyone was expecting. And I'm really interested to see if Dubas can keep Gardner. If Kyle Dubas can keep Jake Gardner, he goes down as probably one of the best GMs in the NHL. But yeah, Matthews signed. The Leafs are looking really good. And I'm really excited for the next 5 years of Auston Matthews.